Hey everybody, I'm your host, Ricky Bird, and this is another episode of Cheap Movie Tricks. Today we're going to talk about how to make your own blood using KARO syrup. So it's really easy. This is a cheap way. This full setup with the food coloring and even the gloves only cost me a little over 11 bucks. So the other cheap way to do it is just get a knife and cut yourself. But we can't do that, and I don't have insurance right now, so we're going to go ahead and just make the blood ourselves. So it's really easy to use the KARO syrup to make it. All you have to do is open up this bad boy. Now, I used gloves because this gets really sticky. So it's good. These gloves cost about $2 and they're super helpful. So that way you don't get blood everywhere. Even when you're shooting your movie, you don't want to have blood all over everything. So KARO syrup is really sticky. And we'll go through some other ways to make blood, but this is the norm. This is the easiest way. You can keep everything in the container here, but you just pour a little bit of blood or a little bit of KARO syrup out, and you're giving yourself some room. That way you can add a little bit of water. Then you take your water, just add a little bit of water like so. And when you add your water, you want to still give yourself some room, so that way when you shake it up, you'll be able to have enough room for it to move around. So you want to kind of get that water in there going real good. Get the water. Now we go in with our food coloring. Now I just bought the assorted because it had red and blue in it, and then black. Use a little bit of black for just to give it a little bit more darkness. But usually a little bit of blue and red, maybe a little bit of green, just depending. You figure out what you want your blood to look like. So we're gonna add a little bit of our red food coloring, and you can add pretty much as much red as you want. Now the other colors you need to be a little bit more careful because you don't want your blood to turn purple. Once it turns purple, it never goes back, no matter how hard you try, trust me. So now with the water in there, it changes the viscosity a little bit and lets the food color travel throughout the whole syrup. If you don't add enough water in there, you're gonna have the food coloring. It's not going to mix in with the KARO syrup. So what we'll do first is we'll put a couple drops of blue in here. Boom, boom. Now you can see that the blood's red. It's like a cartoony red. But now, we mix in a little blue, gives it a little more color. You gotta shake this up really good. Okay, so now it's a little bit darker. Now this is where we add a little bit of green. We've added the blue, we've added the red, we added a little bit of green, and it's actually coming out quite nicely. Just to darken it up a bit, I'm gonna put a couple drops of the black food coloring in here. Now the black is just at your own discretion. You can use as much of these as you want, just as long as it doesn't get to that purple color. It just depends on what you want and what you're going to be putting the blood against, because sometimes you need to make the blood a little bit darker if it's going to be on a darker canvas. Like for example, say your victim is wearing darker clothes, which I would strongly say not to do. Make them wear lighter clothes so the blood shows up better on your victim. But in any case, we're going to put in 2 drops of the black. And you gotta shake it up really good, depending on how much water you have in there. Put in a little more green and a lot more red. You can never put too much red in there. All right, now that looks like blood. You wanna get a good dark blood, and it won't look as red as normal stage blood, but that's good because you don't want that kind of orangey red blood anyway. But like I said, you can still add, like, you know, even though I'm happy with the blood color right now, I can still go in there and add a little bit more red in there. Now you need to be careful with the green and especially the blue. You don't want to put too much blue in there, because if you put too much blue in there, you're going to get the purple effect. Okay, so we've made our blood super easy, super cheap. That's how we like to do things at Cheap Movie Tricks. Now, the black you can add sparingly, or you can add a lot to make a, more of an infected blood or something. You want to do more of the Walking Dead style. Or if you're doing an alien movie, you can use more of the green food coloring and just eliminate red altogether. A good mixture for like a good zombie would be these two. We've used it before, it looks really good. If you think there's gonna be a better blood recipe, or you think you have a better blood recipe, then please leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know, and we'll try to make a video about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and I honestly think this is the easiest way to make some easy blood. It already has the container for you. It's easy to apply. You just apply it to your victim. You can add it with syringes or whatever. It's edible, so you can put it in your mouth, whatever. It's pretty easy, and it has great results. It's the best consistency. You can use other syrups, like if you wanted to go to the dollar store, you could use just regular syrup. A little bit harder to get that blood tone for this. This one you start on a clear palette, so it makes it a little bit easier, but whatever you want to do. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cheap Movie Tricks. Keep checking back more, as we will be having more episodes coming out. And if you haven't checked it out already, please check out our book on how to shoot your own short film for under $2,000. That's right. We show you how to raise your money, write your script, get your equipment, and shoot your very own short film for under $2,000. It's amazing, I know. If you like this video, then please hit the subscribe button. And yep, thank you.